Well, hello.
Hello, Jason.
We have Jason Bonham, who is here and is going to be in town this evening for Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening, 7:30 at the Celebrity Theater, doing literally, all the best-known songs from Led Zeppelin and some deep tracks also.
Jason, that brings me to my question. Of the deep tracks, what is your favorite Zeppelin song to play that most people wouldn't expect?
Oh, well, wow. I mean, it all depends on the day, I guess. One thing I've learned in 11 years of doing a project that I thought I'd only do once is that everyone has different favorites at different times of their life, from the harder stuff to the softer stuff. One of my favorites deep tracks to play live has got to be Down by the Seaside, believe it or not.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a Neil Young feel to that song.
Well, the weirdest thing is when you say Neil Young, every time I do it, I keep thinking, one of these days I'll put together a real tribute show to my father and have him invite guest singers to sing on different songs of Zeppelin. And that's who I had in mind for that song straight away.
Well, it's perfect.
Nice.
It's perfectly tailor-made for him, Jason. So go ahead. Take the idea. Run with it.
Yeah.
Just send us 10% is all we ask.
I don't remember I said it was my idea before that. Yeah.
Damn it.
I have it written down on a piece of paper from 5 years ago. So.
You do have credibility on your side as well.
All right, so we'll do a quick one here, Jason. We'll give you some songs. Which of these Zeppelin songs? Now, obviously, you like and love many of them. Which of these songs do you like better? Rock and Roll or The Ocean?
Rock and Roll.
Black Dog or Whole Lotta Love?
Whole Lot of Love.
Kashmir or When the Levee Breaks?
No comment.
Okay.
Oh.
Can't come up with it.
I see. Yeah, that. I mean, the great thing about Kashmir was, it started off as an idea of my father came back. He doesn't play an instrument, so he, apart from drums, of course, drummers out there, pulling their cars over there.
Right.
What do you mean he doesn't play an instrument? Any other instrument other than drums. So Jimmy used to understand him. He'd come in and sing an idea to the guys. So, and that was how he would get across, and that's why he's credited as one of the writers of Kashmir, because he came in and literally said, "I got this idea." It goes, da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. And, the next thing you know, Jimmy starts playing these chords. So, the way it started off, so Dad was very fortunate to have a group of guys that understood where he was coming from and kind of, so believe me, you don't have to be able to play the chords to somebody else to get a songwriting credit.
Famously considered their favorite song that they composed, Kashmir, by the members of the band, which brings me to the question, is there an entity that is Led Zeppelin anymore? I mean, obviously, it's now been quite some time since the O2 show. Were Jimmy to decide and Robert to agree and the phone were to ring, is this basically you keeping in shape just in case?
I think this is just keeping me sanity, really. I mean, of course, it's that thing that you would always pick up the back phone. I have ringtones for each member of them, and can you guess which one's who? So what if Jimmy Page was to call me? What would his ringtone be?
I would say the breakdown in A Whole Lot of Love, the guitar riff.
That was going to be my guess. So I will take instead the guitar riff from the guitar riff from Black Dog.
Well, you see, you have to look into the writing credits for that. Because if you think Black Dog started off as John Paul Jones wrote that on a train, so that would be John Paul Jones's ringtone. Yeah, you got Rock and Roll is Mr. Plant's, because he was such a fan. And, of course, it would be the main guitar riff, Mr. Jimmy Page.
What I love is that I love that you still refer to them as Mr. Like you still have that reverence as them being elders, and you're still the little kid sitting behind the drum kit in the movie.
Yeah, and they still have that power when I'm with them. I feel like a child when I'm around them. They take me back to that, to a part of my life when Dad was still around. So, and I just had a wonderful time, without going off topic here about tonight's show, 7:30.
Nice.
I was just in Nashville recording with my other project, the local band I play in, Circle with Sammy Hagar,
right.
Michael Anthony, and Robert was in Nashville at the same time promoting his new album, and we got to spend a lot of time together, and we had a great time just reminiscing about the old days.
Well, it's interesting. You are playing with, or you have played with, arguably the greatest rock band in the history of the sport, and you're also playing with half of arguably the greatest American rock band in the history of the sport. So you live a charmed life, Mr. Bonham.
I am. When you put it that way, I'm a very, very lucky guy. As I said, Sammy and Mike and Vic Johnson, when we have such a blast when we play. And I tell you what, when that new album comes out, you will not believe what we did. We went into Nashville with Dave Cobb, who I've known and worked with because I love the band Rival Sons that he's worked with. But most people would recognize what he's done with Chris Stapleton. So you cross that in there. He's always loved the rock music, and we got in the room with him, and 5 days later it was like, wow, how did we do this? So I'm very fortunate. And of course, now, the way it's been for the last 2 years, my boys in JBLZE, Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin Evening, we got together last week for the first time, haven't seen each other. And we said, it's time we can get back and do this again. And it's so great to see the people's faces, to hear that their favorite band live, their favorite band music played live again. And if I don't say it myself, I will say it. We do a pretty good job. I have some very amazing musicians at this.
Well, Jason, we'll let you get rolling. We know you got to prepare for tonight's show. Again, Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin Evening, 7:30 tonight. You can go to celebritytheater.com. Jason, thank you so much for joining us. That was a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to talk to you, Jason.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show. And all I'll say is go to the bathroom before we start the show, because it's over 2 hours.
All right.
Noted.
and that's just Moby Dick.
Well, let's not bring that into it again.
All right. Take care now.
Okay, thank you.
See ya.